This video is sponsored by Alcid eHomes, whose mission it is to accelerate the advent of sustainable, healthy living systems around the world. Hi, welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 69. We got a lot of great news about the Cybertruck today, and Tesla keep removing parts from their cars. And we hear about the first MEGAcharger being installed, and people are starting to enjoy their not-so-boring drive through the Las Vegas Loop. And Tesla might get some help to get some insane profits. All this and much more to come on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
And Tesla is, as we know, dominating the EV market in the US. A study done by buyautoinsurance.com revealed what we kind of already knew, that Tesla has been dominating the US EV market for the past 3 years, owning 74% of all EVs sold. Just look at this chart. Even though the top line there should be about 4 times longer compared to the others on the list, because that is almost 300,000 Model 3s sold, compared to number 2 and number 3 that only sold about 67,000. And yes, number 2 and number 3 is also Tesla cars. Yeah, this is what total domination look like. And sure, more and more competition incoming, so Tesla's EV market share will probably drop. But that does not mean that Tesla is not growing, because they are. And the new kid on the block, the Tesla Model Y, is already the best-selling car in the US in its class, overtaking German premium SUVs. Like we talked about before, the pressure cooker is on for the ICE and fossil fuel industry. With the ban of ICE sales coming, incentive for EVs and renewables, the Paris Agreement, the IEA said no more investing in fossil fuel, and so on and so on. But yet another big nail in the coffin for the fossil fuel industry just happened, as a Dutch court just ordered Shell to reduce their CO2 emission by 45% by 2030. Of course, Shell expects to appeal this decision, but according to the court, such a verdict has far-reaching consequences, and other companies will also have to reduce their CO2 emission. It can also lead to a rejection of new investments in the industry, as International Energy Agency would like countries to do, as we talked about last week. So another lose for ICE and fossil fuel, and another win for EVs and renewables. And Tesla is leading the way. They sold about 500,000 EVs last year, and everyone coming out with new EVs like Mercedes or Ford, and they all talking about it like they don't sell anything else but these cleaner EVs. And when we see them on TV like Ford here, they always standing in front of their 2 models of EVs talking like they're Tesla. But don't be fooled, Ford EVs deliveries in Q1 was 6,600. Tesla's was 184,000. And Ford delivered over 500,000 ICE vehicles in Q1, so not quite Tesla yet. Yeah, there is a reason why Tesla is the most searched for share to invest in around the world. Because they are so much in front in this race, it is ridiculous, and is so much more than a car company. Just look at this little sheet that shows all the things that Tesla is actually in. And on the right side of the sheet shows all the companies that Tesla is actually in competition with. So when they say competition is coming, they have to be a little more specific. Do they mean the automakers? Apple, Google, Bosch, Electrify America, Nvidia, Waymo, Sunrun, Uber, Lidar, Geico? What competition is coming? Yeah, Tesla is the next Tesla. And the US government is going to give Tesla a big hand because of the upcoming tax credit. The US Senate Finance Committee advanced legislation on Wednesday that would boost electric vehicle tax credit to as much as $12,500 for EVs that are assembled by union workers in the United States. Tesla doesn't have union workers, so they won't get the full credit, but they will get a $10,000 tax credit on their cars. The bill would limit tax credit to vehicles with the retail price below $80,000. So that means that all Tesla's cars, except the Plaid version of the Model S, will get this $10,000 tax credit. And before, the tax credit ended when the automaker hit a specific number of EVs sold. But now they will make it so that the credit will continue until the car market in the US hits 50% EVs. And then phase it out over 3 years when they hit the 50%. So Tesla will get this $10,000 tax credit in the US for some years to come. So as we have seen, Tesla has been raising their prices 5 times already in the last 6 months or so. I think this is because they are getting ready for this tax credit. Because this is kind of crazy, because their Model 3 standard range model will suddenly not cost the $38,000. That car will suddenly cost $28,000 in the US. This is only about $3,000 more than their Model 2 or whatever it's going to be called. That should come out in 2023. And that $25,000 car will only cost about $15,000. Because I don't think the US car market will get 50% EVs already by 2023. So this is kind of nuts because, as we know, Tesla's demand is through the roof and they can't keep up with demand. And as we have talked about before, if you lower the car's price by a couple of $1,000s, your market increases significantly. But cut $10,000 off, Tesla will get more market than they can handle. Just look at the Cybertruck, where they already have over 1 million pre-orders, so even if you have already made a reservation, it could take 1, 2, 3 years before you get your car from when they start production. So the demand for this car is already to the moon. But now give the Cybertruck a $10,000 discount. You will be able to get a Cybertruck for $29,900 for crying out loud. So even with the world's biggest car plant coming online soon in Texas and the expansion in Fremont, Tesla will not be able to keep up with demand, not even close. So Tesla will probably raise their prices even more, not to get a waiting list for all their cars like the Cybertruck where people have to wait a year or 2. And that means even more profit on their cars that is already industry leading. And even if Tesla only raises their price a couple of $1,000s, it will still mean billions of dollars for Tesla in pure profit. Just take next year, 2022, when Tesla will probably make about 1.5 million vehicles or even more, and let's say 500,000 of them is going to be sold in the US. But if most of these cars will get just $2,000 increase, that will mean that Tesla will get $1 billion in pure profit just next year in US alone. And then we have to think about, when will the car market be at 50% EV market share, and how much will Tesla actually raise their prices, and how many cars will Tesla actually be able to produce before the tax credit ends. This is huge for Tesla and is going to bring Tesla billions of dollars in pure profits. I know Ford and GM will get this as well, and even $12,500 because they have union workers, but Ford is only making about 50,000 EVs this year, so it will still take some time before Ford really get as big as advantage as Tesla has here, because Tesla already has the EV volume to really make this count. Nothing is approved yet and is still a long way to go, but it will probably be something like this, so going to be really interesting to follow and see how this pans out. And let's take a look at the gigafactories. Tesla is starting its gigantic steel mesh for the large foundation for its battery factory in Berlin. That is going to be the world's biggest battery factory when it's done. And the Brandenburg Economy Development Agency has received more than 350 requests from companies who want to work with Tesla at the Giga Berlin factory. And Tesla themselves have tweeted out that they are still looking for one that is going to make the graffiti on the Giga Berlin factory. And Gigafactory for Tesla quickly showed off some great concepts, and one of my patrons shared these guys from Australia with me that does artwork on buildings. I think Elon should get in touch with these guys. Damn, they do some cool work. Thank you so much for sharing, Mark. Yes, Giga Berlin is going to stand out from any other car factory in so many ways. And we did see more Giga casting at the Texas factory. Actually, this time Jeff Roberts caught the machine in action, while the other machine in front of it is being built. So cool to see them already at work in a non-finished factory, because the casting machines are one of the things that's going to set Tesla apart from everyone else, and why no one can keep up or are going to be able to keep up. And Jeff also caught them putting up a new pillar at the Giga casting area, getting ready to finish off this corner of the factory. And Joe Tagmeyer did share some pictures from inside the factory as well. Very cool. But Tesla still has to fight against some of the more stupid things, like the stupid law of dealerships that has prohibited Tesla from selling directly to customers in some states in the US. And one of these states is still Texas. Yes, the state that Tesla is building its billion-dollar gigafactory, the world's largest car factory, will employ thousands of people and boost its economy. Well, if anyone in Texas want a Tesla, they still have to go to another state. Yes, Tesla will have to ship its Texas-built cars out of the state to sell them back to the residents in the state. That is just stupid, and it's starting to become difficult to get the bill approved for the new law in time for when the factory will be done, because that is a long, hard process of 7 steps that has to be done within 140 days. And so far, no bill on changing the law has even passed the first step. So I hope they will get the law changed by the time the factory is done, because this is kind of embarrassing if Texas has got Tesla to build their factory in their state to boost their economy, but then don't get the law changed in time for them to actually sell their products in the state. Come on, Texas. And speaking of Giga Texas that is going to build the Cybertruck, we have seen a lot of pictures this week about the UI in the Cybertruck because of Tesla's patent for the UI. And we did learn a few new things. And the new UI is looking very cool with a lot of data for the driver. And Ryan here on Twitter did notice that the tail light is showing the charging percent of the Cybertruck when plugged in. Nice. But for many of the pictures in the patent, the range of the Cybertruck is shown to be 610 miles. Tesla did show 500 plus miles, but if it have over 600 miles, that would be crazy. And there was also some mentions of automatically attaching a trailer, and they did show a towing capacity of 20,000 pounds. But if these numbers have anything to do with reality, we have to wait and see. And they also had a patent for this, and that sounds kind of cool. Identifying passenger in vehicle, determine location of portions of person's face, eyes, adjusting mirror based on tracking of portion. Now that sounds like the car will automatically adjust mirrors according to the person sitting in the car. If you move the seat back and forward or something like that, or a person that is driving the car but don't have a driver profile in your car, but it will still adjust the mirrors to fit this person. So maybe it will recognize the passenger with face recognition and adjust mirrors, seat, and even your preferred climate and airflow in the car, because it sees who is in the car and not using the mobile phone to know who's in the car, because that sometimes does not work. If I get in the car after my wife have been driving and she's still next to the car when I get in, it will adjust to her profile. But if it can recognize my face, that will never happen again. So I hope some of these UI features we see here in the Cybertruck patent will make it into the new user interface of the other Teslas, because it all looks and sounds very cool. But you will also be able to get a Cybertruck with solar panels over the bed of the truck. And the Cybertruck will, of course, as we know, be very durable, safe and shock absorbent, and the glass seems to also be bulletproof, probably to a 9mm handgun, just like the body itself. Yes, this is going to be one badass truck. And as we know, Elon Musk says the best part is no part. And Tesla just removed yet another part from their car. Tesla did announce they will be removing radar from their cars and rely on vision only. Elon has been saying this before and said it will make it more difficult if the radar and vision disagrees. Which one do you rely on? But when vision is solved, you don't need radar anymore, making the system even simpler to produce and cheaper. As I made a whole video about Tesla solving the AI vision, and that is what sets Tesla apart from everyone else. Just take a look at Xpeng, that is proudly talking about all the sensors they have in their car, 31 sensors to be exact, and NIO with their 33 sensors, and of course their 3 horns.
Triceratops means 3-horned face.
So yes, the other guys are making it very complicated and expensive, and Tesla is solving vision. And it seems like they have solved it, since they will stop making the Model 3 and Model Y in the US with radar anymore. So we must get very close to the release of the new version 9 full self-driving software if Tesla is actually stopping making cars with radar. So yet another part that Tesla doesn't have to get and doesn't have to put in their car, and simplifies their full self-driving software. And with the extra space Tesla get in the car, Elon, maybe you should throw in the Starlink dish instead. Just saying. And speaking of Starlink, SpaceX has of course made some more records this week. SpaceX of course did more Starlink launches this week, and the 2 fairing halves on the Starlink mission on the 26th of May were reused. It was a 3rd time for one of them, and the other one it was its 5th time to fly, which was a new record for reuse of fairings. And this was the 118th flight of a Falcon 9 rocket and the 85th landing of an orbital class rocket booster. This is just amazing. No one else is still not landing rockets, and SpaceX has done so 85 times. I'm sorry, Jeff Bezos. I know you're protesting against NASA for choosing SpaceX to land people on the moon in 2025 and not your company. But Blue Origin hasn't even made one single rocket to orbit yet. And Blue Origin was founded back in 2000, 2 years before SpaceX. So now, 21 years later, you haven't even had one rocket to space. I'm sorry, but I do understand why NASA chose SpaceX to do this in only 3 years' time. They have had more than 118 rockets in space, landed 85 of them back down, and have already launched and landed the Starship prototype that will take humans to the moon. And of course, the little thing that your lunar lander, Jeff, costed $6 billion, and SpaceX will do their lunar lander for $2.9 billion. It is an absolute no-brainer for NASA to choose SpaceX. Sorry, Jeff, but for you to protest this choice from NASA just sounds like a spoiled rich boy that didn't get his way. And of course, Elon is not one to lay back and don't give a little bit of smoke to Jeff on Twitter. When Blue Origin tweeted about their lunar lander, then Elon of course replied, for the low price of... Yes, SpaceX is just light years ahead in this game. As Elon tweeted, cumulated payload to orbit is the really crazy number. Falcon has delivered more than double the rest of the world combined over trailing 12 months. Yeah, there is SpaceX and everyone else. Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff who?
And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Elon Musk has said before what a little speck of solar panels we need to power the entire US. But here's a little picture showing what a little speck of solar panels we need to power the entire planet. We need to do this. Free-to-Lay Incorporated is installing MEGAchargers for Tesla Semi at its Northern California warehouse. Upon completion of the installation, the company will have the first known MEGAcharger for the electric semi-truck. And YouTuber Marcus Brownlee talked with the guys at Ford, and they actually told him that the F-150 Lightning estimated 300 miles EPA is with a 1,000-pound cargo. So according to the unit he was trying out, it should have about 460 miles of range. If this is true, this is much better than first expected, and I don't understand why Ford wouldn't go with the EPA without any cargo in the presentation. Sounds a bit weird, but anyway, they will definitely over-deliver big time on this one if this is true. And it looks like the new over-the-air update has enabled the camera above the rear view mirror to detect and alert the driver if he or she is not paying attention. Nice. And Tesla Powerwall just surpassed 200,000 installs globally. So it took about 5 years to get the first 100,000 and just 1 year to get the next 100,000. This business is ramping up. And I think I know why full self-driving is always 2 weeks out. Tesla keeps finding new kinds of intersections like this one. Now that is a full self-driving challenge. And we see more videos about people trying out the Las Vegas loop from the Boring Company. Some even wanted an extra trip just for the fun of it.
Dude, I don't want to get out. I want to ride back with you. Where are you going next? Do you have to pick
Disneyland.
somebody else up?
No, would you like to see the South Station?
Kind of.
All right, I
Yeah,
can
that'd be awesome.
take you over to South Station and I'll bring you right back to West Station.
They think we're here for the
Sweet.
schmoozing, but we're here for the tunnel.
No problem.
And just to show how much humor Tesla has, even inside the charging stalls that Tesla is putting up, they are writing on the circuit board, "Made on Earth by humans." This picture is here from Denmark of an upcoming Tesla charging station. Tesla is set to take unusual step of paying in advance for chips to secure its supply of crucial materials, and is also exploring buying a plant as part of an effort to overcome the global shortage, according to people familiar with the matter. And Tesla also patented a new, safer and cheaper battery pack design. Yeah, Tesla is really pushing the price down on their battery packs. And the Tesla Model S reached a range on par with ICE vehicles after locking 320 miles of range at 75 miles per hour during a highway fuel economy test run done by Car and Drive. And that is before we even have the Plaid and Plaid Plus version that will do even better. And remember, Tesla is holding their delivery event on June the 3rd. And do you want 2 free stocks? Yeah, I thought so. If you use the link in the description to open a new Webull account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening the account, and another free stock valued up to $1,600 if you found your account with at least $100. And it will of course help support this channel as well. A win-win for the both of us. And you do have a chance to invest in both Bitcoin and Dogecoin with Webull as well. Enjoy! And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. H. Patrick Burns, Peter Johnson, Donald Mera, Chuck Gilbert. And my new thank you for watching member, William Pillar, and Be Nice and You Are member, Gino Cho, and my best in Tesla superhero, Maticus. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. And competition is always good. It brings out the best in people. And these cyclists got a little motivation to drive as fast as possible. That is all we have time for in this news episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps out this video a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only, so don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and Be nice.